Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to the hashtag Lockboss Show and Giveaway. I'm PJ and I hope everyone out there in the Lockboss community is having a wonderful day. I tell you what, I am happy to be here with you, and we're going to be having all sorts of interesting times. And right when we were going live here, I was like, you know what? I need to pull up the Y1s. We can see what we got cooking in the oven with those. So we'll be talking about Y1s because, well, who doesn't want to talk about the famous Y1 key? And of course, we're going to be talking about the posts of the week, the comment. See, I said that backwards. I was getting me all messed up here. The comment of the week, the posts of the week. We're going to be going over our discussion today in regards to kind of going through and checking some of your financial stuff as it pertains to business. And then, of course, we're going to be announcing this week's 5 lucky Lockboss winners. So that's what we're going to be going on today. Thank you all for tuning in and hanging out. And let's see here. Yes, we do have the after party coming up with in the Jimmy J's server. Jimmy J, what's up? And I'm going to actually grab that link for you right now and throw it in there. There it is. Okay, so after the show today, we've been doing this, Jimmy, what, about a month or so now? We've been doing the after party. It's in Jimmy J's Discord. There's a link I just put in there for you right now. And essentially, it's on Discord. So you log in, you join the group chat. Some of us are just audio join, some of us are videoed in, and we're just hanging out. We're talking really about all sorts of different things, whatever everyone wants to talk about. There's really no agenda. It's really just an after party hanging out. So if you have not participated, you might want to give it a try. More and more people have been joining us, and it's been a lot of fun. All sorts of interesting conversations. I will say they sometimes try to get more info out of me. I get it. They eventually learn all my secrets, I guess, or maybe not all of them, but some. But yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. Please, if you'd like, join us. If not, no problem. We'll see you. We'll see you back here. So. All right. So with that being said, let's first go in and let's figure out how many M1 keys Y1 keys we got here. So let me pull this open up here. And of course, it always takes me a second to find them. It usually actually helps if I can see. So let's see here. Let's just get this figured out. All right, so the amount of Y1 keys that we have, and it sounds like Julio put some confession music on. Julio, I have nothing to confess today outside of, I guess, how many Y1 keys we have, which is 11,406. Now, let me go ahead here and hop in, and let's see if there's some order movement. All right, so I guess the last time we were doing this would have been the 14th. So since the 14th, okay, so we had a 250-pack sale, a 20-pack sale, a 200. A 250-pack sale again, a 10-pack sale again. And it looks like right now, actually, there's 2 orders in the picking process, which is a 250-pack. A 250-pack is actually in picking process, not 10-pack stuff. So that's what we have cooking when it comes to the Y1 for 11,600. Now, with the lockpicks.com purchase, that did add, remember, let me find it again. It's actually hard to think at the moment with Julio's music here, but let's see. Let's partners. Let's see. Okay, here it is. So yeah, so we actually got into 3, almost 4,000 keys. So otherwise, man, we'd be sitting pretty good. What, about 7, 8,000 keys? So we have 11 now. So we'll keep working through them, and hey, quarter them while there's a deep discount, I suppose, eh? Quarter while there's a deep discount, but soon you won't be able to buy them at our cost anymore, I guess. But yeah, all right. So, Ken Nixon at 10,426. That's not a bad guess there, Ken. You're getting right around there. All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead. Let's hop into today's show. Of course, I'm going to be drinking a Topo Chico. And even though Julio doesn't have the confession music going, this is actually my first Topo today. I haven't even popped the lid on this thing yet. So I think I've just been living off coffee. But let's see. All right. Perfect. I tell you what, I'm excited about this. I've been looking forward to it. All right. Well, hey, cheers to all you out there as well. I think I did the cheers after instead of before, but hey, cheers to all out there as well. Drinking a Topo Chico or your favorite beverage of choice. So, yeah. All right. With that being said, let's hop into today's show and have a little bit of fun. All right. Have some good conversations. All right. So here we go. Lockboss season 3.13. And we're going to start off with the posts of the week. This first one, I tell you what, it's a good one. Hopefully you've seen this already, but if you haven't, check this out. So this is from Ken Nixon, and Ken says this is a Christmas present from one of his sisters, and he loves it. Well, guess what, Ken? I love this too. And Julio got the music all interesting today. I don't know what's going on with Julio. But okay. So check this out. What I love most actually about this picture is that if you are not someone in the lock and key industry or locksmith community or anything, you may not really realize that the key in the photo and the key hole on the padlock are different, and it's not the right type, right? So that's what I love most about this shirt is it really gets you on that. At first, if you don't know anything and you look at it, go like, you're not my type. I don't get it. Why? And by the way, I also love when you see keys out there and you look at the cuts on the key. I just love when the keys are just like not the way they should be. Like that cut right up by the head there. That always gets me. I like it a lot. Very cool. Can I tell you what? Ken, the only thing better than seeing this shirt is we want to see you in the shirt. Okay, so send us a photo with you in the shirt, and let's show it off. But yeah, very cool, Ken. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, next up, and this one comes from Derek at Journal Lock LLC. He says, got my winnings package. Thank you, everyone from CLK Supplies in the Lockboss community. Everything will be put to great use. P.S. Thank you, Michaela, for the help to fix a package mix-up and making sure it went to the proper location. Again, thank you to everyone at CLK Supplies. Well, hey, Derek, first of all, thank you so much for your support and your business. Really, really appreciate it. And, of course, we appreciate the photo and you being a part of the Lockboss community. I love it. I like the stuff you got in there, too. Lots of good stuff there. And I'm going to see the identity sticker and stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, all right. So next up, let's go to the comment of the week. And the comment is from Jason, USC 1. You know, the funny part is, Jason, I have to admit, every time I see your handle, I always see Jason SC1, right? Or Jason U SC1. But I'm guessing it's Jason USC one, but I guess that when you love two blanks as much as I do, that's how you see it. But yes, he says these machines were cool when we saw them a couple of years ago. They keep getting better. This is the machine. This is the machine my Ilka 040 wants to be when it grows up. I agree, Jason. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the engraving option on the Triton is pretty rad, right? And probably the best part is, and I loved so many of your comments where, you know, I don't know if you saw, okay, so if you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's a good one. If you've been considering getting a Triton Plus or getting the engraving jaw for it, definitely check it out. But the interesting thing in the video, okay, is I figured, you know, I was like, hey, let's do something real, okay? And so I figured I'd do my dad's business, right? And so I put on there, I went to put on there, I was typing out country, and then it popped up with like the spell check or whatever, like the word suggestion, and I hit it. The problem is when I hit that, it said county instead of country. And I didn't realize it actually until and Julio, I mean, this is probably when the confession music needs to be on, but you don't have to, it's fine. So I get done shooting the video, okay, get everything done, and all of a sudden my dad comes in and I hand it to him. I said, hey Dad, I'd like to sell this to you. And there's the confession music, and he looks at it. He's like, hey, it'd be great, but if it said country, I'd buy it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Look at it. I'm like, that is, I mean, it's one thing to mess up. It's another thing to record a video and mess up. But I figured the only right thing to do would be to keep it the way it is and just let it be real. So that's what I did, even though it was a painful. And even Kylie had messaged me. She's like, hey, I want to double check to the fact that you know that you didn't do that right. And I was like, yes, I did. But the right thing to do here is let it play, right? It's kind of the real part of it. It's something that we all do from time to time, is making mistakes. And well, let's face it, I did make that mistake. So, but yeah, it was pretty funny. It was even good. I don't know. In a way, it kind of made the video better, right? Because sometimes those mistakes happen, right? But now, of course, when those mistakes do happen, you hope you catch them before you go to the job or give it to the customer, or in this case, trying to sell it to the customer. But better luck next time. But so long story short, I guess what I should be saying is I was unable to sell that to the Lockfather. I was unable to sell it to him. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into today's topic. Now, I haven't been looking at the comments, but I'll look at them here in a few minutes and we'll hash them out. But so it's what I like to do at the beginning of every year at some point is really kind of refocus in, recalibrate in. It's something that I do. And I recommend hopefully all of you are to some level as well, you know, as small business owners like I am, like so many of you are. We have a lot of things going on, and it's easy to neglect some of the basic things due to the mistakenness of just thinking we're too busy or this or that. So I just wanted to just take a week and kind of hash out a few things, maybe give you a few ideas. And of course, what's more important than the topics that I'm going to bring up is what you can add to the comments. So even if you're just watching right now and you're not used to commenting a lot, no problem. Hey, drop a comment in there. We'd love to know what you think. Of course, if you comment all the time, we want to hear what you think as well too. So, you know, one of the best parts about the Lockboss community isn't me and everyone here at CLK putting out videos. It's us putting out videos and you commenting and adding to the conversation. I've learned so much and so many others have as well. So definitely put your 2 cents in the comments and we'd love to hear them. So, all right. So we're going to be talking about money matters. All right, here we go. So let me get a swig here and there we go. Let's hop into it here. All right. So let's talk about insurance coverage. You know, around this time of the year, I don't know about you guys, but when my insurance agent or, I have a few different ones on a few different things. Like if you were to ask me right now, like, what are my insurance coverages on all this stuff? Maybe for you, it's you have a van or you have a storefront or maybe you have some equipment you have a lease on or something. I don't know. It's hard a lot of times when they go to contact and want to talk to you you're busy, right? You have stuff going on. So you kind of look it over and all that kind of stuff. Well, I like to make sure that I have the proper coverage on stuff. And I hope you do too. Of course, with the lockpicks.com purchase, one of the things I did was call my insurance agent that has the insurance on the inventory and be like, hey, can you remind me again how much insurance I have for inventory? Now, and I don't know, probably a good spot here for more confession music. Julio, just refrain this time. Okay, just refrain from hitting it. Okay, work on getting refrain from confession music and work on new horn sounds. Okay, but I don't know about you guys, but so many times, like when you look at the actual documents of your insurance policy, it's kind of confusing. It's kind of like reading a legal contract. I kind of get done. I'm like, okay, I went to public school. I might need a little help understanding this, right? And so I just like to call my agent and ask, and how much insurance do I have on inventory value? And then they tell me, and they're like, well, here, let me look at your policy. I said, sweet, let me look with you. And then at that point, you can make sure you have the right amount. So for example, let's say you got a new Triton Plus this year, or maybe you got a new Futura, or maybe you got a new Smart Pro or Auto Pro Pad or Black Widow, whatever it might be. You're of course going to want to make sure that the insurance coverage you have on your van is going to protect the investments that you've made in your business, in your possession. Maybe you have some equipment in your van and maybe you have some equipment in your house or in your garage or something. You're going to want to call your agent, make sure that you have the proper coverage for not only the van, but maybe a storage unit or your house, right? In your garage or storage, whatever it is, to make sure you have that right insurance coverage. Okay. Because the truth is it's easy for me to not know, to forget about it or kind of put it off. But when it comes time to need it, well, let's just say you want to make sure you have it, right? And I don't know, how often do we hear, when something bad happens, like a van gets totaled or gets stolen, God forbid, or something like that, or gets broken into. It's one of those things that so many people, I know people who have had this happen to, and they thought they had the right coverage to cover all the goods in the van, but they didn't. And next thing you know, they're like, shoot, I saved up, I invested this stuff in my business, and I'm having to start over to some degree. And so you don't want that to be you. I don't want that to be me. And so just take the time. First of the year is always a good time to do it. Just call. It's also good when you renew your policy, whenever that is. But call and make sure that you know that it's covered. In the same way, when we got all the lockpicks.com inventory, I wanted to know actually before it got here and was put away, that I had the proper coverage to protect my investment. And I hope you check and make sure you do as well. So definitely check that out. All right. I like Nick says, I email a lot with my insurance agent. That's really good. I think with insurance agents, a lot of ways, in my opinion on this, is that I probably don't talk to mine as much as I should. Maybe just a couple times a year typically, but they should be able to know who you are, right? To some degree. Like if you call up and they're like they have no idea and you've been using them for years, if it was me, I'd probably consider someone else that would know. So just because if you need them, right? Like you want to at least for them to have an idea of kind of what you got cooking in the oven. Now, do they need to know all your kids' names or partners' names or whatever? Probably not, but they want to at least be somewhat familiar with you. So Make sure you're checking your insurance coverages, because if something happens, you want to be covered. All right, next up here, credit card and billing statements. Making sure that we're checking for services or SaaS that we don't use anymore, and look for duplicate charges. This is an easy one. I don't know about what your credit card statements look like, but mine are pages long. And I'll give you an example on this one. Okay, I was actually telling the guys at the after party last week or the week before. So I, of course, look over them every month, but looking over them and making sure you recognize everything's important. But taking the time, I do at least once a year. More, I mean, I should say probably more than that, but I'll tell you a story. I was doing this a couple weeks ago, and I start going through, and I'm like, I feel like I'm getting charged double on this. And I start looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all year, almost all of last year, since March. So from March to the end of December, we use Hulu at my house for like live TV and that sort of stuff, right? To watch some football and stuff. And somewhere along the lines, me or someone else in the family got the Paramount Plus subscription inside of Hulu. Well, we also got the Paramount Plus subscription outside of Hulu. So from March of 24 through the end of the year, through December, we double paid, man. And I'm like, we just did. And of course I canceled the Hulu one, because we were so used to watching Paramount on actually just Paramount's app or whatever. So that's one of those things that got away with me. It's like $9 a month for, I don't know, about 10 months or so. $90 we wasted because we had double the subscription. So definitely at some point, I like to use the first of the year, making sure, like, kind of look through that. So, looking through to make sure you recognize these charges is one thing. It's another thing to make sure you're not paying for double services that, who knows how that happened. I have no idea, but it's fixed now. So definitely keep that in mind when you're looking. All right, next up is the marketing budget. Review your marketing budget and give you time to rethink or try something new. Now, I know so many of you out there, you're going on jobs all day, you have invoicing at night, you have this, you're answering the phone here, you're checking out this, you're quoting this job, you have so much stuff going on, and it's easy, very easy to put a lot of your advertising on autopilot. And especially when it comes to internet marketing type stuff, you can blow so much money. I'll give you an example of this. So we finally got the lockpicks.com ads starting to get fired up. And I log into the account. When was this? Monday morning. And I looked to see if our ad guy who's doing it, had started to set up all the campaigns, because we finally got approved Sunday night. And I look at it and I'm like, there's like a random campaign running and it's not really doing anything. And like, it had a budget set for like $96 for the day or something. And this was like 6:30 in the morning or so. And the whole budget was already used that day. And I talked to him. He's like, I didn't set anything, he's like, I hadn't even logged in yet. And so we just wasted $96, unfortunately. And but more importantly, it's easy that, like, sometimes this campaign will work or that won't work. And at some point you have to make sure that you're just doing a good job and not just burning money because you've set, if you're anything like me, on something like that, you might set a budget for $200 a month or something for your local ads. And you just kind of set it and forget it, and you're kind of busy enough and it works and you just kind of let it go. It's really not great to do that. You're going to want to be checking in at least once a month, if not more often, to make sure that that's going well if you're not having someone manage it for you. So just kind of, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're anything like me, you have a lot going on in your small business, and it's easy to always go to the most important, which is typically customers and jobs, right? And you can kind of let some of the other stuff kind of slip through. So make sure you're checking on it. I'm seeing some of your comments on there. Yeah, we only do weekly campaigns. That's good, Nick. That's good, man. That's awesome, actually. So just making sure, you're keeping an eye on that stuff. And, I like to take once a year, at least, just to remind everybody, because it's really a reminder to myself to make sure I just do that little extra compared to what I normally do. And, yeah, exactly. So if I forget it, it dies. Yeah. So important. I tell you what, I was actually hearing a story of someone who spent well over $100K on accident through Google Ads, and that's terrifying. I tell you what, avoid that if at all possible. Which means, as a small business person, or if you're looking at eventually running your own small business, that you just take the time to really go through this stuff. And it's so easy, at least setting when you set budgets and you understand what your expenses are, and you just kind of get used to and tell me in the comments if you're anything like me, but sometimes it's easy to get used to an expense. And if everything's going good, you just kind of just ride the wave. And then is what a lot of times you can find out is that you're really just wasting some money. So I have had a tendency to be able to do that sometimes, and you don't be like me and don't do that. All right. But yeah, so that's kind of the big thing here. And then lastly, I want to talk about, it's kind of forward thinking, like every year in particular, like at the beginning of the year, is there anything new to you that you need to get this year? How's the service van? Any repairs going to be needed? Is there any tools that you want to upgrade or get new, right? Like, now's the time to try to make sure, like, if there's one thing I do know in small business after 20 some years of doing it, is you're probably not going to ever find magical extra money in your account, right? Now, maybe you'll do a couple of big jobs, you'll feel like you have this little windfall come in. Totally get that. But outside of that, a lot of times you're not going to find those, right? Outside of those big jobs. So if you know your van's probably going to need a new tranny this year, or you're going to need a whole new service van, or your electronic key machine is, I don't know, you can tell it's probably not going to last too much longer. Now is a good time to really start setting money aside and saving up. So when the time comes, you don't feel desperate, or you have to get a loan or something on something that you really don't want to, right? So just kind of really thinking through a lot of those things now and planning for it. Like, we'll give you a couple examples for us, right? Like every March, so that's in February, March. So in 2 months, we have our annual, like our ERP, we pay once a year for, and it's a good significant amount of money. And so I put money, I budget and put money in an account every month. So I just take, so let's say it costs 10 grand and there's 12 months, right? I'm just going to put, $800 in that account per month. So over that next year, when the ERP renewal comes, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, where's 10 grand, right? So just thinking through some of those expenses, you're going to have, if you're going to have a van or a new transmission or something, that you really save up for that, and you're prepared, because, man, I tell you what, business is a lot easier when you have some money, and it's not so easy when you don't. So trying to just keep that in mind and forward thinking through a lot of that is always good. And it's always it's a good thing to do. I've lived both lives. Okay. I've lived both. And, yeah, I'm probably the first 8 years in business in particular. I mean, I don't have a clue of what I was doing. And you'll learn a lot of those lessons the hard way. And if at all, myself or anyone in the comments can help you maybe think through some of this stuff. And by the way, it's okay if you haven't really thought through this stuff and you've had to make a couple decisions that you wished you didn't have to make, or maybe they weren't the best, or maybe you had to get something and the interest rate was crazy high. It's okay. All right. Just, keep working through it, and just try to make better decisions in the future. We all have to kind of do that. Right. We have a C saving up for a Black Widow. I like it. An Auto Pro Pad Core. John Shelton. I like it. Very good. And yeah, so here, let me run through. So that's what I have for the show today. Let me kind of run through the comments. There's a lot of comments here. Let's see here. Let me see if I can point some out. Money matters. It's taking me more and more. Let's see here. Money matters. It's taking me more than a week just to pay my insurance, licenses, and basic overhead. I'm mobile in a van. Yeah, I mean, that stuff, it's expensive out there. It really is. Evan, thanks for sharing, though. Let's see here. Yeah, Jimmy J, he didn't have his glasses on during the video. I don't know. I can't remember if I did, honestly. Special key for you. Let's see here. Let's see. Pouncer Min says, PJ just joined, was running late. How do you expand if you're the only locksmith but can't handle sales, marketing, etc.? We're good at fixing locks, but doing business and lock work is hard to balance. Pouncer Min, that is so true. And I think any solo business owner, or even really under probably 5 staff, you're going to experience this, right? And so, of course, I have some thoughts and ideas, but everyone who is on here, there's quite a few of you. I would love for you to share your thoughts on if you are a single, like if you're a solo business owner, entrepreneur. I would love for you to share some tips and tricks with Pouncer Min. I tell you, that's a great. I love that question, actually, and. Pouncerman, if you're into reading books, a book that I would highly recommend that definitely has impacted me a lot is the book called The E-Myth, and that stands for the entrepreneurial myth. And the premise of the book is that most people get into business because they're good at what they do. They're a good technician, and they think they can do it better than their boss, essentially. Right. And the hard part with that is there's all the other stuff here with the handles, marketing and sales and all of that. So if you're into reading at all, maybe consider reading that book. It's awesome. And it helped me a lot, because that's exactly essentially what I am. Right. I'm someone who grew up in the lock and key industry. That's what I know. And everything else besides the locksmithing work, I've really had to learn secondary. Fun fact, when I was 18, 19, started selling stuff on eBay, all that kind of stuff. I was currently going to college, and I could not use a computer at all to save my life. I was someone that in high school, I wanted to be in shop class. They had welders and a bunch of woodworking stuff, and I wanted to weld, and I wanted to make things out of wood. It was awesome. It was fun. And I didn't pay attention to computers at all. Little did I know my entire adult life would be spent sitting here typing on a computer. But I had to learn. And I think it's something that it's easy for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, then when you don't know something very well or understand exactly what you want to do, to kind of avoid it. And is what you have to do is really put some time aside to do this stuff, okay, to spend on the handle sales and marketing and that sort of thing. Or another option is find someone to help you. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's a close friend. It's someone who can do a little side stuff for you, something like that. It can be pretty informal, actually. I mean, at one point in my printing business, I found myself needing more business. And I just started telling all like my employees, I was like, hey guys, if you can bring us any jobs, I'll give you 10% of the first order or whatever. And I'll be darned, we started getting orders, right? Now, is that a great long-term solution? Probably not, but like there's stuff like that you can do to bring in more business. That's something that I had done. Yeah. And so the other part is too, the question I always ask myself when I'm getting your situation, which happens quite a bit, maybe it's a little different looking, which is this. I find myself super busy doing the jobs or the work. But then when I'm like, okay, maybe I should hire someone to do this or that, I'm like, the money's not there. Right. And I always stop and I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's think this through for a minute. If I'm super busy all the time and I don't have time to do anything else, but I don't have the money to expand the business to either hire other people or maybe an employee or just someone to help me do this or that, I have a problem. Like, because the business isn't functioning the way it should. Maybe I'm not using my time wisely. Maybe I'm not charging enough. Maybe I'm taking jobs too far away from each other. Who knows what it might be? But yeah, so I'm not saying that's your case. I know I've ran into that myself a few times where it's like my staffs come to me and they're like, PJ, like we're super busy. Like we need more equipment. We need more people. And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. And then I'll look into it and I'm like, I have a problem because we are very busy right now. We do need more equipment, but there's no money there. Like there's no, like, I mean, there's money there, but there's not like extra money to do that stuff. And that's typically good. It's a great indication if you allow it to be, to really help you, examine, take a hard look and okay, like something has to change because it's not good if, I mean, I always like to say it's like, in business, you shouldn't be busy and broke. Okay. Maybe you're slow and broke, or you're busy and not broke, but you really don't want to find yourself busy and broke. Not a good combo. So if you find yourself in the busy and broke category, anyone who's listening or paying attention, you definitely need to stop and figure stuff out. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to reading the comments as well. Pounce them in. But hey, thank you for that awesome question. Let's see here. NY Locksmith says, that's funny. Enjoyed the autocorrect. I know that was dunk. And then, yeah, oh my gosh. But NY says, glad you didn't make a bunch. I am glad too. James Estep says, Julio's putting on funeral home music. That's terrible. Evan says, my van is fully paid for. I like it. I like it. Let's see here. John says, it's the machine's fault and you need to get rid of it in the giveaway. I like the angle there. That's good stuff. That is good stuff, John. Let's see here. Let me keep cruising through. Let's see. The local locksmith company, Automotive Locksmith, says my van contents are covered under my rider to my policy connected to my business insurance versus my commercial auto insurance. That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's really good tips there. And it's awesome that you actually, you know that off the top of your head. That's really cool. Very cool. All right. Yeah. It's important to have the right coverage on service vehicles. If you have the wrong coverage, the vehicle might be covered, but not the equipment. So true. Strong Tower, Lock and Key. Thank you for sharing. Small town here. Everyone knows too much about each other. Oh, that's good. Let's see. Let me keep surfing through here. Yeah, James says, how many Y1s is 96? Too many when you're selling them at cost, I tell you. Oh, man, that's good. Let's see. Let me keep scrolling. Let's see. Saving up for a Black Widow, like it. Gonna have the cash before purchasing. My man, that's how I like it myself. Let's see here. Almost done scrolling. Perfect. I see some conversations here. I'm not quite sure. I have here, yeah. Vernon says, I have run several businesses over the years and found that the main key to expanding business is proper advertising. That's very good. That is very good, Vernon. I agree. I'd love to hear what, by the way, proper advertising for you and your business, what that looks like. If you want to share that in the comments, just a couple little clips, that would be really awesome. Jimmy J, Iowa Lock Talk says, Pelcherman, join some local associations and network with other community leaders, local chamber, home builders association. Man, Jimmy J, great advice. I know you've been doing that and you've been sharing how good that's been for you. And man, really thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. So yeah, Pelcherman, I definitely consider doing that. I mean, I think it's low cost and takes a little bit of your time, but yeah, that's awesome. Pouncer says, how do you feel about cold calling, business to business, old school, or still effective? I don't, maybe someone in the comments could answer that. I don't really have any, I'm just a guy that, I mean, we've really never done that before, mainly because I hate getting them. So, but yeah, might work maybe. Let's see. Jeffrey says, great tips you are talking about. I'm glad my service van is paid for, yet always trying to have or add more inventory. Plus, I want to get a workshop to keep my van up and preserve it. Very cool. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Okay, here we go. NY Loxa says cold call still works. Make sure you, in that case, have business cards. A lot of my business was going door to door. Then I got a bunch of corporate accounts. That's awesome. Very good. Keybeard, what's up? Good stuff, everybody. Hey, great comments, man. I absolutely love it. Great comments, great questions, and I love seeing everybody help each other out. It's really one of the foundations of the Lockboss community. And man, I just have to say, once again, I've said it many times in the past, but all of you are so amazing. It's such a positive community, and you guys are always helping each other out. We're hanging out in the after party. Everyone's showing up here. And just thank you guys for being awesome on the internet and helpful and encouraging to one another. It's really cool to see. But all right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this week's winners. Now, before we do, we need to make sure we get on the same page on what to do if you win. So if you win, email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. And of course, I finally put it on here this week. No purchase necessary, my favorite part. So with that being said, winner number one this week is Trevor Lynchfield, 9538. Congratulations. Winner number two this week is Sebastian Bailey, 7950. Congrats to you. Winner number three is Mike West, 7673. Congrats. Winner number four is, James Eastep, who's in the chat. It's nice to, happy for you to win there. Very cool. And last but not least, winner number five is Alberto Jodo Jot, 879. Congratulations to you. So there we have it. That is this week's Lockboss Show. I tell you what, I hope you got something out of it. I know so many of you contributed to the comments. It's absolutely amazing to see all of that. So I love it. You guys keep doing your thing. It's really cool. And of course, if you want to come hang out with us here in just a little bit, go ahead and you can cruise on over to the after party. The Discord link is in the comment section. Check it out. Come join. Come video chat. Just audio chat with us. We can talk about whatever you want, and it will be a lot of fun. So with that being said, I tell you what a great show. Great hanging out with you guys. Happy to be here with you all. And next week, we'll have the Lockfather on, giving away 5 to 5 lucky Lockboss winners, $500 store credits. Excited about that. So, yeah, hope you guys all have a wonderful and safe evening. And we'll see you same place, same time next week. Oh, and I think this coming weekend, there's a pretty cool video from the Lockfather kind of showcasing his picks. I think, maybe, I don't know. Check it out. Anyways, everybody. All right. Have a good one. And we'll see you next week or at the after party here in just a little bit. Y'all take care.